No religious persecution in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu replies fake news peddlers.
No religious persecution in Nigeria is a lie from the pit of hell.
Nigeria partners UK on fraud control, strengthens accountability and good governance.
Sub-Saharan Africa faces the highest business fraud threat globally, according to reports by the Global Scam Alliance.
Federal government working to improve communication in education sector with new strategic blueprints.
Collaboration among teachers transforms the profession.
Good evening and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I am Elizabeth Omori. Hingino John Adams will be reading from the city of Lagos. Our very own busy businessman Benny Adams will bring us some business reports. Benny?
Well, it's sharing news for investors in Nigeria's capital market as almost 500 billion naira, just as stock markets across Africa close in green, stepping into October. Details in the course of the bulletin.
Of course, Ambade Adeleye has the latest in the world of sports.
Well, Elizabeth, we've got live updates coming from the Wafu Beyond Under-17 Boys Cup in Cote d'Ivoire and evidently match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League.
Thank you, gentlemen. Don't forget to follow this newscast live on our website, nta.ng/live. NTA News now on X and other social handles displayed on the screen. Now the news. The people of Imo State today rolled out the drums in enthusiastic welcome of President Bola Tinubu as he pays a visit to the state to honor the state governor, Hope Uzodinma. The president used the opportunity to unveil the governor's latest book titled A Decade of Impactful Progressive Governance in Nigeria. Also, the president commissioned landmark projects in the states.
They lie all over the place that we have religious persecution and differences. No. We are more developed, civilized, and well educated. Yes, we learn English, but we teach English too. Our Muslim brothers and sisters and Christian brothers and sisters and fathers are helping us to build a nation. We are united. No religious persecution in Nigeria is a lie from the pit of hell.
Do watch out for more details on his visit to Ore subsequently. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will broadcast to the nation on Wednesday, October 1, 2025 at 7 a.m. in commemoration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. A statement by the Special Advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayo Nanaga, enjoins all television, radio stations and other electronic media outlets to join the network services of the Nigerian Television Authority and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria for the broadcast. In other news, sequel to the President's approval for payment of the new pension increment rates for pensioners under the Defined Benefit Pension Scheme, the Directorate has commenced implementation of the 32 Naira pension increment for eligible pensioners in pension payroll cycle September 2025. A statement by Petard says the achievement was made possible through the partial release of 20.1 billion naira by the Federal Ministry of Finance from the initial 45 billion naira emergency fund approved by the federal government. Petard appreciates President Bola Tinubu for ensuring that DBS pensioners enjoy the enhanced pension payments. And a bit from the judiciary, Omoyele Sowore, a politician and activist, has appeared before the Federal High Court, Abuja, on alleged charge of making malicious allegations against President Bola Tinubu and cyber stalking. Olabode Arewa brings us details.
On or about August 25, 2025, Omoyele Sowore put up alleged derogatory posts online via Facebook and X, defaming the president, Bola Tinubu. In the aftermath of that, the DSS requested him and the concerned online platforms to delete the offensive messages. Their refusal prompted the arraignment in court, which was aborted due to non-service of the court processes. When the matter was called, counsel to Sowore, Marshal Abubakar, objected to Sowore, the first defendant, taking his plea, as he was just served with the charge sheet in the courtroom. While Facebook, the second defendant, was not represented in court, Mofe Shomotayo Yetibo, who is counsel to the third defendant, Meta Platforms, also agreed with Sowore that an adjournment was necessary to enable them to properly study the charge. In line with Section 386 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015, the presiding judge, Justice Mohammed Umar, adjourned the matter to 27th October for arraignment of Sowore and other defendants. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Away from the court, a new wave of collaboration that offers Nigerian women entrepreneurs fresh access to international markets is on the horizon as Russia explores partnership with Nigeria in 6 critical sectors of the economy. This came to the fore during a courtesy visit to Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, by members of BRICS Women Business Alliance Russian chapter ahead of its interactive session with stakeholders in the country. Status correspondent Adeni Itaiwo brings us details.
By virtue of its status as a BRICS partner country, Nigeria, with its population and economic potential, is often in the sideline of the organization for collaboration. One of its economic mechanisms, BRICS Women Business Alliance, serves as a platform for business-to-business and business-to-government interaction, and its delegation is at the office of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to kickstart its interaction with stakeholders in Nigeria. Welcoming the intervention of the alliance in 6 critical areas of the economy, particularly in healthcare and trade, the First Lady says she is focused on her complementary role to help address demographic challenges in the country and called on the alliance to work with relevant ministries in governments.
Since you came in as for entrepreneurship and it has to do with women, and I believe that trade will know how to incorporate the ministry with it, that they can also work in partnership, to fit your requirement. But I believe that you are here to do business with Nigeria. So trade, the Ministry of Trade will be more appropriate to do that. And when it involves empowering women and also teaching them on various entrepreneurial skills or whatever business you want to do, and these women, they also work in collaboration, so they can always assist you.
Recognizing the roles that Nigerian women play in the economy, the alliance says it is willing to promote business inclusive environment with the offer of cooperation in financial literacy, healthcare, creative industries, agriculture, and tourism.
I hope that collaboration between BRICS and Nigeria will serve as a solid foundation for the implementation of large-scale initiatives that will support women entrepreneurs and strengthen the economic stability of our countries.
It also donated 1,000 labor and delivery kits to promote childbirth safety.
Each kit is more than just a collection of medical supplies. It is a symbol of our friendship and commitment to supporting the thousands of women who need special care.
The scene soon shifted to the interactive session at the banquet hall of the president, where ministers and other stakeholders took time to explore opportunities for cooperation with the alliance.
I reaffirm Nigeria's openness to business, our commitment to bold reforms, and our readiness to welcome the Russian business community.
If you're considering investing in Nigeria or partnering with Nigeria, the future of Nigeria is digital, and we invite you, of course, to be part of that.
We're working to ensure that women build their economic power. Opportunities like this provides that.
Established in 2020, the BRICS Women Business Alliance seeks to promote women's economic participation and foster collaboration among women-led businesses. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Talking farming, not fewer than 500 vulnerable farmers in Kano and Jigawa states are getting a fresh burst for their livelihoods as NNPC Foundation trains them on modern farming techniques and smart ways to reach profitable markets. Awal Salihu reports.
The training on modern agricultural techniques and market access strategies is designed to equip vulnerable farmers in Kano and Jigawa states with the skills and knowledge they need to boost productivity and increase income. Amina Muhammad, a smallholder farmer, is one of more than 500 beneficiaries.
We have started learning about soil management, how to check our soil, the fertility of our soil, how to use our locally seeds, and how to even use our local fertilizers in our farms.
Farmers have learned a lot, and we hope that more of this type of exercises will be introduced.
The initiative is part of the NNPC Foundation's wider commitment to empowering rural farmers, strengthening food security, and improving livelihood through sustainable agriculture.
When we train them and they know what to do and how to do it, they'll be able to cultivate with a good yield, and there will be abundance of food in the nation.
For Amina and many others like her, the training brings new hope, turning subsistence farming into a more profitable and resilient way of life. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Kano State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to ethical governance, transparency and accountability. Speaking at the end of a 3-day executive retreat in Kaduna, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf emphasized that fairness, sincerity and prudence must guide every decision and policy under his administration. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
For 3 days, the machinery of government in Kano State was temporarily relocated to Kaduna, where key officials gathered for an intensive retreat focused on capacity building and ethical leadership. Commissioners, special advisors, permanent secretaries and heads of ministries, departments and agencies converged to acquire new skills, methods and tools aimed at strengthening their managerial capabilities. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf described the retreat as a strategic move to promote ethical governance and build a system free from corruption. He expressed optimism that the capacity building program would serve as a launchpad for a new era of transparent and accountable governance in Kano State.
The success of any government depends not only on policies and programs, but also on the integrity, professionalism, and the effectiveness of those entrusted with implementing them.
He stressed that integrity, transparency, and accountability must serve as the compass for every action taken, every decision made, and every naira spent. The governor also urged participants to become champions of ethical conduct, setting a clear example of integrity within their respective ministries and agencies. Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
You're watching the network news on NTA. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly.
The Gombe State government is delighted to announce the Gombe State Health Summit 2025. This landmark event is built to shape the future of healthcare in Nigeria with the theme Transforming the Healthcare System in Gombe State, Accomplishments, Challenges and the Next Frontier. This summit serves as a platform to showcase the healthcare reforms under the visionary leadership of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, share success stories and key lessons, explore global best practices and chart a course towards achieving universal health coverage. Join policymakers, development partners, global experts and health professionals on 2nd and 3rd October 2025 at the International Conference Center, Gombe, as we re-imagine the future of healthcare together. Health systems changing in Gombe with bold strides and big impact. Be part of the Gombe Health Summit. Share the story. Shape the future. Announcer.
The beating heart of Owerri. Business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Happy 65th Independence Celebration, Nigeria. As we celebrate the resilience of our people and history, AC Drugs Limited stands with Nigerians to celebrate their health and well-being. We strongly advise healthcare professionals, distributors and patients to purchase AC Drugs Limited medicines from only authorized distributors. Cross-check a product's NAFDAC number and verify packaging authenticity. Report any suspected falsified or substandard products immediately to NAFDAC. At AC Drugs Limited, our top priority is working with NAFDAC, healthcare providers and law enforcement agents to protect public health and maintain the integrity of our registered products. AC Drugs Limited, dedicated to pharmaceutical excellence.
In the hearts of our nation, courage stands tall. The Nigerian Army is here, protecting us all. Through trials and challenges, our spirit won't sway. Together we rise, come what may. Listen closely, Nigerians, to the truth we uphold. Fabricated stories won't tarnish our gold. Dismissed and disgruntled, they spread lies and despair. But your Nigerian army is dedicated and fair. Every soldier, every officer stands for the right. With honor and integrity, we defend day and night. Your safety, our mission, our oath, we will fulfill. For Nigeria, we are steadfast, always ready, strong-willed. Don't let the noise mislead you. Stay informed today. Trust your Nigerian army. We're here to stay. In unity we stand. Together we will thrive. For a prosperous Nigeria, we will always strive. Stand strong, stand proud, we believe in the army that safeguards our freedom to achieve. Together united, with strength as our guide, we will chase away shadows and falsehoods they hide. Nigerian Army, protecting lives, building trust.
Nigeria, our country, our pride, blessed with abundant oil and gas resources, yet under attack. Criminals are stealing our commonwealth, vandalizing oil and gas infrastructure and funding terrorism, banditry and kidnapping. It's destroying our environment, our economy and our future. But enough is enough. The National Security Advisor has launched Operation Skyline to track, stop and crush these economic saboteurs and their collaborators wherever they are. Let's stand together. Say no to crude oil theft. Say no to economic terrorism. Say yes to a safe, stronger Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Office of the National Security Advisor and sponsored by the Project Management Office and private security contractors of Operation Plug.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. For years, weak communication channels and fragmented information flow have hindered effective coordination across Nigeria's education sector. Now, the Federal Ministry of Education is addressing this through its 2025-2027 Communication Strategy and Framework. Zenrik Dinmun reports.
This initiative is set to become the lifeline of operations across the Federal Ministry of Education. Its goal is to modernize and streamline communication processes, ensure that reforms are efficiently implemented, and the Ministry's mandate fully achieved. For stakeholders, the new system will simplify the exchange of information and data, particularly between federal government and subnational entities, thereby improving outcomes across the sector.
Reforms succeed only when they are clearly communicated, understood, and embraced by all stakeholders.
The blueprint for telling Nigerian education story with clarity, credibility, and consistency.
Meanwhile, in build-up to the forthcoming World Teachers' Day, the ministry also organized a symposium and media engagement focusing on the roles of teachers, school leaders, and policymakers in mentoring and creating safe and inclusive learning environments in communities nationwide.
Let us share our weaknesses so that somebody who has a better strength than you in that area will help you to build your knowledge gap.
Transforms the profession from a solitary task into a dynamic community of practice.
This year's World Teachers' Day theme emphasizes recasting teaching as a truly collaborative profession. In Abuja, Zenra Dingmun, Nta News.
Away from education, Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has signed into law the 2025 supplementary budget of 75 billion naira, recently passed by the State House of Assembly. Of the total amount, 58 billion naira is allocated to the state government, while the 27 local government councils will share 17 billion naira. Mohamed Musa Skira brings us details.
Speaking shortly after appending his signature, Governor Umar Namadi said the supplementary budget was necessary to meet the developmental yearnings and aspirations of the people. He stressed that the funds will be directed to priority projects and programs designed to improve the living standards of citizens. The governor commended the State House of Assembly for what he described as a timely passage of the bill, noting that the collaboration between the executive and the legislature demonstrates a united commitment to the progress of Jigawa State. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu approves the appointment of 3 new heads of agencies. President Tinubu appoints Bello Babwari from Niger State as the new Director General of the National Biosafety Management Agency for an initial term of 4 years, effective September 18, 2025, in accordance with the provision of Section 5 of the National Biosafety Management Agency 2015. Also, Aminu Janaidu from Zamfara State is appointed as Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of the Investment and Security Tribunal for a 5-year term effective September 18. A statement by the Director of Information in the SGF's office says Mr. President also approved the appointment of Olayiwola Nuruddin Awakan as Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation for an initial 4-year term effective September 2, 2025. And for more reports on the network news, let's head to Lagos, where Hingino is standing by. Hingino.
To Lagos. The federal government has warned that it will no longer tolerate false claims regarding properties along the Lagos-Calabar Highway corridor. Minister of Works David Umahi stated this while responding to allegations by an investor claiming demolition of structures valued at about $250 million US. Lanre Belay tells us more.
Nigerians claiming to be investors have voiced their grievances over alleged demolitions of their property along the Lagos-Calabar Highway corridor. The Minister of Works promptly initiated an investigation revealing findings that contradict the investors' claims.
Because there are a number of facts I want us to unveil. Number one, I have a document from WinHomes that says they bought 12 hectares of land in 2022 for the sum of 50 million naira. You need to investigate to see if there is any evidence of any infrastructure that was destroyed. You can see the land there, you can see countable few trips of sand there. Those sand are not more than 2 million. You know, I want you to see it by yourself. I'm not stopping at EFCC and DGSSS. I need apology from the woman if within 7 days she fails to provide these documents. And I'll be writing to the Embassy of America to demand that they send the woman back to us.
Civil society organizations who participated in the protest expressed dissatisfaction with the situation.
I expected to see structures that were erected on the land, probably some were pulled down. And that would have been evidential to say where has been developed by the federal government has structures. but that's not the case.
The minister advised investors to engage directly with the federal government, citing a new directive mandating the Survey General to add additional lands in the corridor for investment purposes. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, Nta News.
Away from that, leading vegetable oil, Power Oil, has once again sensitized Nigerians and projected the need to stay healthy, active and keep fit. This, the brand promoted once again by staging the 2025 edition of the Power Oil Walk Heart On, which involved a walk and an aerobic session in Lagos. Gift George has details of the story.
Oil Portfolio Tourism Group, manufacturers of Power Oil. The human life needs regular exercise to keep going in perfect condition. This necessitated the annual Walk Heart On, which the company organized to enhance the health status of Nigerians. The Power Oil Walk Heart On began with an aerobic session, with the participants taking part in the fitness exercise, organized by Power Oil, a leading vegetable cooking oil brand, to promote healthy lifestyle in Nigeria. The walk began at Bole Thomas Road, went through Alaka Costain, then the National Stadium Surulere, through Shita Roundabout, and back to Bode Thomas. The vision of Power Oil Walk Heart On over the years is to inspire Nigerians to adopt healthy lifestyle.
We do not think of Power Oil as just an oil. Yes, it is healthy. Yes, the meals you cook with it are certified healthy. But we also see ourselves as a brand that inspires, right? We see ourselves as a brand that encourages people to be more self-aware about what they put into their body. But more importantly, we are working and we are constantly having this conversation with consumers through all touch points to inspire them to take a more active interest in their own lifestyle. That could be a matter of you running, that could be you walking like we're walking today.
The participants appreciated Power Oil for giving them the platform to keep fit and also a product that's healthy for consumption.
I came here to exercise, to burn my calories, to just feel, rejuvenated. I use Power Oil a lot. It is a very, very good oil, especially the light. If you are an elderly person, use the light because it has very low cholesterol.
If anyone says I can trek this long, I'll say that's a big lie. But with Power Oil, I did it. Power Oil is a very good oil. I can recommend it to anybody. In fact, that's what I use in my house, and you can see I'm looking fit.
The Power Oil Walk Heart On, which began about 13 years ago, has grown to cover major cities in the country and giving medical assistance to persons with various heart ailments. In Lagos, Gift George, Nta News.
And that's it from Lagos. Network News continues with Elizabeth in Abuja after the break.
Bauchi State, where opportunity meets potential, the new frontier for investment in Nigeria's northeast. With over 4.2 million hectares of fertile land, rich solid minerals and petroleum deposits, iconic tourism assets, and a youthful, skilled workforce, Bauchi is ready to power agriculture, industry, energy, and trade. Join leaders and investors at the Bauchi State Investment and Economic Summit 1.0, October 8th to 9th, 2025, at the International Conference Center, Bauchi. The world converges here. Bauchi is open for business.
Wow! Awesome! There's always more with Mr. Chef in the Mr. Chef Extra Jara promo. Buy the 100 cubes pack, get 10 free cubes. Buy the 50 cubes pack, get 5 free cubes. Available in beef, chicken, mixed spices, and all-purpose variants.
Is day ahead?
Delicious Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Sedap Supreme Noodles is here for you. Because only the finest ingredients go into Sedap Supreme Chicken Essence to give it that truly delicious chicken taste. Sedap Supreme tasty chicken noodles with real chicken essence, capturing the Sedap Supreme tasty chicken goodness. Sedap Supreme Noodles, the essence of tasty chicken goodness. Also available in rich spices variants. Be Supreme Nigeria.
My morning ritual starts here, surrounded by life-made furniture. From my wardrobe to my bed, life-made furniture's whole house customization designs every piece to perfection. I love that in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Ibadan, and Kano, there's life-made furniture.
For a whole house customization and furniture projects, call 081 2000 6000 or visit elifemade.com. LifeMade, your life made forever.
Nigeria at 65, a continental giant takes another step forward, navigating the contradiction fueled by a colorful and resourcefully diverse populace, yet questions linger on the destination of state, propelled by the vagaries of nationhood. What is your contribution to this journey? Join the NTA and an eclectic mix of everything Nigerian, from the academic stings to the street king, who will lend their voices on the platform that has always been a part of the journey. The NTA on October 1st, 2025.
Glad to know you're still there. In a major push by the federal government to secure the nation's economic landscape, the Standards Organization of Nigeria, in partnership with the British Standards Institution, unveiled a new fraud control management system in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
Amid staggering financial crime figures of $4.7 trillion globally, and Nigerian financial institutions recording losses estimated at more than 52 billion naira in 2024, in addition to the value of attempted fraud cases surging to more than 115 billion naira in a single quarter, Nigeria moves to create a fortress against corporate crime.
A human one. It affects livelihoods, it undermines trust, and in the most heartbreaking cases, it can cost people's lives.
The unveiling of ISO 37003-2025 is described as a shift from reactive investigation to a proactive, standardized defense against internal and external fraud.
Its widespread adoption will improve Nigeria's global rankings, attract foreign direct investment, and support the goals of renewable agenda.
Sending a clear signal that they uphold the highest standard of governance and that it is safe to do business with them.
For the Minister of Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwale, represented, economic growth cannot thrive where trust is eroded.
We are planting a tree of integrity. Its roots will stabilize our business environments, and its branches will bear the fruits of increased investment, sustainable growth, and shared prosperity to all Nigerians.
To ensure implementation, stakeholders from the EFCC, ICPC, the Central Bank of Nigeria, alongside members of the business community, agreed on establishing clear organizational benchmarks. This is as they commit to protecting the massive investment and digital advancement currently driving the nation's economy. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
And Benny still has his business on Business News. Benny?
Thank you, Elizabeth. And talking tax, the African Tax Administration Forum, that is ATAF, has thrown its weight behind Nigeria's tax reforms, which culminated in the new tax laws, describing them as necessary for economic growth and development. Executive Secretary of ATAF, Ms. Mary Bainey, while on a visit to the Chairman Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji in Abuja, said ATAF stands by Nigeria in reforming its fiscal landscape and pledged the readiness of the body to give technical support in areas that would help in realizing the gains of the reforms. Dari Adekombi, Special Advisor on Media to the FIRS Chairman, adds that ATAF had helped Zambia to build capacity in the area of raising revenue from mining and promising to offer support to Nigeria in the same area, and also willing to leverage Nigeria's continental and global influence to mobilize member countries to strengthen ATAF. Now, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has announced that Royal Air Morocco has paid the sanctioned fee imposed on the carrier for consumer protection-related infractions earlier this year. This was disclosed by the NCAA's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimugu, in a X account. According to NCAA, RAM attracted the heaviest fines due to incessant short-landed baggage issues and a lack of responsiveness to passenger complaints. Looking at the markets at this time, Nigeria's equities markets across Africa closed September on a positive note, except for Tunisia, and investors in Nigeria step into October with 466 billion naira gain. This is as the Nigerian Exchange Group, the all-share index, closed higher today at 142,710.44 basis points, representing an appreciation of 0.23%. The South African JSE Africa Top 40, which represents 40 largest companies listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange by market capitalization, was also up by 0.66%. Then looking at Kenya, the Nairobi all-share index saw a marginal change of small change of 0.06%. with market capitalization rising to 2,784.45 billion Kenyan shillings. The Tunisian market closed in red, that is the only negative at the end of September, moving into October, with value falling by 0.29%. That is it on business at this time. Elizabeth, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Benny, for the updates. The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembas, is a recipient of another award following the recognition of his sterling performance as an administrator and a broadcaster. This was during the Nigeria's Pride Awards 2025, organized by the First Green-White Resources in Abuja. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
The honor is premised on the recognition of excellent service, and First Green-White Resources announced that recipients emerged after a painstaking process. Top of the list of influential Nigerians in public and private sectors is the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembas, whose administrative style has endeared the largest television network in Africa to a larger proportion of Nigerian viewers and the international audience.
A leader that is very proactive like Abdulhamid Dembas, he has been earning many awards to NTA as a big organization. So when this thing came to us, it was not surprise to honor him as one of the recipients of the award. We are going to continue to partner with them.
The spotlight is to equally promote courage and commitment of other individuals who are unrepentantly committed to the cause of a greater Nigeria.
Who have distinguished themselves all over the world in medicine, in science, in literature. Name them, they are everywhere. There is no field that you will not find Nigerians all over the world.
Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Now, the Cultural Council of Chinese Embassy in Nigeria says the NTA has played a vital role in advancing Nigeria's development. His visit to the NTA lays a foundation for closer media cooperation between China and Nigeria. Chinenyamuyi reports.
This visit by the Cultural Council, Chinese ambassador in Nigeria, to the NTA headquarters is not just to strengthen cooperation between China and Nigeria, especially in the media field, but also to explore possibilities for joint cultural programs and news exchanges between China and the largest television in Africa, the NTA. Through the NTA, the Chinese Cultural Council wants more Nigerian people to know about the life, philosophy, economy, and technology of the Chinese people.
Excellent drama and film animation administration. They ask our Chinese embassy to recommend works to your esteemed institution to talk with your side if it is possible to exchange our two sides program.
The Director General of the NTA is here represented.
I know that there are hundreds of thousands of Nigerians going to China, doing businesses with Chinese companies and so on.
By the time we receive your proposal letter, we can now formally discuss what the partnership would look like in that sense. And we would also look within to see what programs we have that will work for a Chinese audience, which we would also present to you. And I like CGTN a lot.
This visit has no doubt laid a solid foundation for closer media cooperation between China and Nigeria, and will help deepen mutual understanding between the Nigeria and the Chinese people through the NTA. In Abuja, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
To security matters, employing and engaging locals, especially women and youths, in the fight against terrorism will contribute significantly in taming violent extremism. Annie Daniels reports that this was the consensus of participants at the National Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism Summit in Abuja.
A high-level summit brings together key stakeholders from government, security agencies, civil society and the private sector to address the pressing issue of violent extremism. The drastic 90% shrinkage of Lake Chad is attributed as contributing to regional insecurity, creating an environment where youths are increasingly vulnerable to recruitment by extremist groups. Social media is also said to play a pivotal role in the recruitment process.
Youth, if you are not savvy, if you are not well educated, you can get informed, get educated, and don't be in a hurry to share videos or information that is very suspect.
We should move away from seeing violent extremism as a security challenge, as the outcome of a breakdown of law and order and of insecurity. Rather, insecurity is the outcome of a problem.
To effectively counter this threat, experts stress the importance of transitioning from traditional donor-dependent programs to sustainable community-driven initiatives by empowering local communities and fostering ownership.
There's no way you can leave it out to the military alone. So you need all hands, all these important stakeholders to be on deck.
We will have communities of practice, policy dialogues, different communications across different stratas of community around this issue.
The theme of the summit is the evolving landscape of violent extremism, emerging issues in Nigeria and the Sahel. In Abuja, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Thousands of Imo populace today trooped out en masse to receive President Bola Tinubu, has inaugurated some signature projects executed by Governor Hope Uzodinma. Kingsley Ononiwo reports that the president also unveiled a book titled A Decade of Impactful Progressive Governance in Nigeria, written by Imo State Governor.
The signature projects inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu during his official visit to Imo State includes the reconstructed Owerri-Omaha Road, newly built Assumpta Flyover Project, as well as Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu State-of-the-Art International Conference Center. The president later unveiled a 372-page book titled A Decade of Impactful Progressive Governance in Nigeria, written by the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum and the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma. While unveiling the book, President Bola Tinubu disclosed that Nigeria is regaining its strength in the global economy, noting that the last decade in the leadership of the country by the All Progressives Congress has been a time of change, and assured Nigerians that the coming decade will be a time of progress and stability in the country's economy. He commended Governor Uzodinma for compiling the progression of leadership under the APC in the last 10 years.
Nigeria just turned the corner. You will see prosperity, you will have it. Those who are talking ill of this country should stop doing so. It's 65 years of independence. It's not a joke.
The Imo State Governor and the author of the book says his inspiration to author the book was drawn from the development strides of the APC leadership, which has been running an inclusive governance and has given voice to the youths and women, as well as opportunity to the physically challenged.
This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that our government is being run based only on non-oil revenue. It has never happened. Everything has been oil revenue, oil revenue. But today, the fact committee has been dealing with non-oil revenue.
The president was accompanied on the official visit by the leaders and members of the National Assembly as well as APC national leaders.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu warmly felicitates with eminent constitutional lawyer, human rights activist and a dogged fighter for democracy, Dr. Tunji Abayomi, on his 75th birthday. President Tinubu, in a statement, commends the chairman of Human Rights Africa and wishes him good health, strength and fulfillment as Nigeria treads the path of progress always envisioned by the erudite lawyer. Let's take our last break. We'll be right back.
The journey of independence and transverse of nation building. Appraisal and projections of Nigeria at 65. NTA Tuesday Live comes up tonight, 30th September 2025 at 10:30 p.m. Nigeria's success stories and boundless hopes for our great nation. NTA Tuesday Live every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. NTA Tuesday Live, educative and incisive as ever. Join us. Nigeria at 65, a continental giant takes another step forward, navigating the contradiction fueled by a colorful and resourcefully diverse populace, yet questions linger on the destination of state, propelled by the vagaries of nationhood. What is your contribution to this journey? Join the NTA and an eclectic mix of everything from the academic stains to the street kings, who will lend their voices on the platform that has always been a part of the journey. The NTA on October 1st, 2025.
President Bola Tinubu receives with deep sorrow news of the tragic passing of Somtochukwu Madugu, a brilliant news anchor with Arise News Television, who was killed during an attack by robbers at her residence in Kantapi, Abuja. The president, in a statement, extends his heartfelt condolences to her family, Arise News Media, and the entire Nigerian media fraternity over the painful loss of Somtochukwu Madugu. He charges security agencies to urgently investigate the incident and bring the perpetrators to book. Similarly, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu expresses sadness over the unfortunate and untimely death of Somtochukwu. In a condolence message, she describes Somtochukwu as one of the nation's young and brilliant journalists. She condoles with Arise News Media, her family, friends and colleagues, and loved ones, expressing hope that the perpetrators will be apprehended. And the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, also describes the death of Somtochukwu Madugu as regrettable and a grievous loss. In a statement of condolence to the chairman of Arise News Media, the minister describes the death as shocking, saying swift investigations will be conducted to unravel the circumstances of her death. And it's 65th Independence Eve. We have a poem. It says, remember Nigeria the 1st of October. Remember the last day of September. It ushers the dawn of the 1st of October. Independence galore for each person, each member. Nigeria is still populated with the enormous ember. All Nigeria is 65. We agreed to guarantee the flag of the country, the flag of the free. And next is sports update with Badi Adeleye.
Many thanks, Elizabeth. Let's begin with not the best of news coming from Cote d'Ivoire, as Nigeria is on the verge of missing out on another edition of the CAF Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, as the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria currently trail their Ghanaian counterparts 2-0 in the semi-final of the 2025 WAFU B Under-17 Boys Cup in Cote d'Ivoire. Both goals were conceded in the first half of the game, with Galba Manu boys still attempting a fight back, as at the last time we checked. The winner of the encounter automatically makes it to the CAF Under-17 Cup of Nations, alongside host Cote d'Ivoire, who earlier defeated Burkina Faso 2-1 in the other semi-final. And of course, away from Africa now, Real Madrid superstar Kylian Mbappe made more UEFA Champions League history on Tuesday, using a hat-trick to become just the 7th player in the tournament history to score 60 goals. Mbappe netted a hat-trick in Madrid's 5-0 away win to Carriat in match day 2 of the league phase, just as Nigeria's Ademola Lookman made his first start of the season for Atalanta, as the Italians came from behind to beat Club Brugge 2-1. 7 other matches are currently ongoing, with Marseille, Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid almost sealing big wins tonight. That does it on sports. Let's return to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Badi. And now to the foreign scene. United States President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have agreed to a new peace plan to end the war in Gaza. And the trial of Mali's former Prime Minister Moussa Mara has begun in Bamako. Habibat Aminu has details on global updates.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to a 20-point peace proposal put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump to end the nearly 2-year-long war in Gaza. Speaking in Washington, Netanyahu described the plan as an important step towards ending the conflict and advancing peace in the Middle East. In another news, Moussa Mara appeared before a cybercrime court to face charges of undermining the credibility of the state, opposing legitimate authority, and inciting public disorder. Mara, who served as Prime Minister for 9 months after a decade ago, has recently emerged as a critic in Mali's ruling junta. Reports say the trial of Moussa Mara is seen by many as a key test of political freedom under Mali's military rule. In Abuja, Habibat Aminu, NTA News.
And next is a look at the weather prospect for tomorrow.
A clear start of the day in mostly sunny spells for most parts of the country. But we can't rule out some morning rainfall, as chances are to parts of Niger, the FCT, Kogi, Kwara, Ebonyi, Imo, Abia, the coastal cities, and some parts of Taraba and Adamawa states. Moving through the afternoon, rain chances return to parts of the north, especially southern Zamfara, Kebbi, Bauchi, Gombe, the north central cities, and cities within the southern half of the country. We observe some potential flash flood in these low-lying areas, particularly in Ebonyi, Imo, and Abia states. Do stay safe and happy Independence Day. I am Akani Samarla.
And that's the news. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Remain patriotic. Happy Independence.